Beloved children, come to me this evening with open hearts, like those who seek refuge in the quiet of the night. The day has been long. The world has wearied you with its voices, its worries, its aimless rushing. Now, however, stop. Sit here next to me and let my love wrap around you like a warm cloak, like a soft light that chases away every shadow. I am your Jesus, your brother, your friend, your Savior, and I desire to speak to you, heart to heart, to give you peace, to bring you back home, to my heart that beats for each one of you. Tonight I desire to whisper to you a truth that warms the heart and brings peace to the soul, unity, that deep communion, which is the very reflection of Trinitarian life. As I and the Father are one, so too you are called to live this union, not only among yourselves, but with us, in the perfect harmony of divine love. Look at the world that surrounds you, my children. How much division, how much fragmentation. Yet, in the silence of this evening, while the stars begin to shine in the sky, remember that every spark of light is united to the others in the one firmament. So it should be for you. Different in your uniqueness, yet united in the one love that generated you. I gave my flesh so that you might become part of me. I poured out my blood so that the same divine life might flow in you, which I share with the Father. Is this not the greatest mystery? That you, small and fragile, are called to participate in the very nature of God? Every time you receive the Eucharist, every time you pray with sincere heart, every time you love without reserve, you enter into this mysterious and transforming unity. But I observe with sorrow how often you forget the sublime calling. My church, which I founded on a rock of faith, still bears the wounds of divisions. How many times, through the centuries, my children have distanced themselves from one another, preferring disputes to prayers, conflicts to worship. How many tears I have shed seeing Christians divided, each one convinced of possessing the entire truth, forgetting that the truth is I, and I am love that unites, not divides. I think of your elder brothers in faith, the people who saw me born and grow among their traditions. They too are my children. They too carry in their hearts the seed of the promise. One day, when the times are ripe, when love will have melted every hardness of heart, they too will recognize in me the long-awaited Messiah. It will not be a triumph, but an embrace. Not a conquest, but a return home within the very Christian communities. How many small divisions, movements that look at each other with suspicion, groups that claim spiritual superiority, parishes that forget they are part of the one mystical body. Yet every charism, every gift, every particular sensitivity is like a note in a great symphony. Only together can they create the perfect harmony that glorifies the Father. The enemy of unity works tirelessly. His method is always the same: divide to conquer. He sows weeds in hearts, feeds pride, makes people believe that the other is an enemy instead of a brother. But his power breaks when you encounter authentic love, that which does not seek its own interest, that which forgives 70 times 7, that which gives itself without calculations. St. Paul, who suffered so much in the unity of the church, had already seen these dangers. Even in his times, there were divisions between Sadducees and Pharisees, disputes about resurrection, quarrels that distance from the true purpose of faith. History repeats itself, because the human heart struggles to free itself from selfishness and pride. But listen, my children, division always arises from the absence of love. When love is lacking, words become empty. Faith transforms into ideology. Prayer becomes recitation. When instead love is present, everything is transformed. Differences become richness. Difficulties become opportunities for growth. Even conflicts can transform into opportunities for forgiveness and reconciliation. True love is what I live for you, a love that becomes service, that bends down to the little ones, that heals wounds, that forgives errors. It is a love that unites without homogenizing, that respects the freedom of each one, while calling all to the same holiness. It is a love that knows how to wait, that does not tire of forgiving, that always believes in the possibility of conversion and change. When you pray, my children, when your heart rises to God in sincere adoration, then you already experience that perfect unity which awaits you in eternity. In authentic prayer, there are no divisions. The poor and the rich, the learned and the ignorant, the saint and the sinner, all find themselves before the one God, as beloved children and in need of grace. True prayer is that which is born from the depths, which does not seek to impress, but to encounter, which does not recite formulas, but expresses the heart. It is a prayer that transforms those who make it, that softens hard hearts, that opens to mutual understanding. When you pray together, when your voices unite in one praise, then you already realize on earth a fragment of paradise. I announce to you a hope, my children. Times will come when unity will triumph, as the prophets have announced, as the saints have glimpsed in their visions. One day, all the sheep will return to the one fold, under the one shepherd. It will be the time when the people who rejected me will bend their knees, recognizing in me the Messiah. It will be the time when the divided Christian churches will find their unity again in the Catholic Church, guardian of the fullness of truth. It will not be a time of revenge or human triumph, but of universal reconciliation. Every tear will be dried, every wound will be healed, every division will be healed in the merciful embrace of the Father. Then the prayer I made evening before dying will truly be fulfilled, that all may be one as you, Father, are in me and I in you. But this future time must not make you remain passive and waiting. Already now, in your daily life, you are called to be artisans of unity. In your families, when dialogue becomes difficult and misunderstandings seem insurmountable, remember that love always knows how to find a way. In your workplaces, when competition risks becoming war and ambition obscures solidarity, be you the bearers of peace that reconciles. Unity does not mean uniformity. My children, look at the nature I created. Every flower has its beauty, every tree its form, every star its light, yet everything contributes to the harmony of the whole. So it must be among you, each one with his gifts, his characteristics, his story, but all oriented toward the one end, which is the love of God and neighbor. When you meet those who think differently from you, do not immediately see an enemy to fight, but a brother to understand. When you hear someone speak badly of your church or your convictions, do not respond with equal harshness, but with a sweetness that disarms and conquers. When you see divisions and conflicts, do not feed them with your judgment, but pray, so that God's love may work reconciliation. Always remember that every person you meet carries within themselves the image of God, even if often this image is obscured by sin or suffering. Your task is not to judge or condemn, but to help this image shine again. Sometimes a smile will suffice, sometimes a word of encouragement, sometimes simple listening, attentive and respectful. Even with those who do not share your faith, or with those who declare themselves non-believers, be witnesses of unity, which comes from love. Do not seek to convince with words, but to attract with life. Let them see in you that peace, that joy, that hope, which only union with God can give. Often a gesture of love is more effective than 1,000 theological discourses. Unity is built day after day, choice after choice, gesture after gesture. Every time you forgive instead of taking revenge, every time you extend your hand instead of turning the other way, every time you choose understanding instead of judgment, you build unity. It is patient work, like that of the farmer, who sows and waits trustfully for the harvest. Think of the little things of your day. When you wake up in the morning, You can choose whether to begin with a thought of gratitude that unites you to me or with complaints that separate you from peace. When you meet your spouse, your children, your colleagues, you can choose words that build bridges or words that raise walls. When someone hurts or disappoints you, you can choose revenge that divides or forgiveness that reconciles. Every small choice is a seed of unity or division. Never underestimate the transforming power of a genuine smile, of a kind word, of a gesture of service, done without expecting anything in return. How many times I have seen marriages saved by a hug given at the right moment, friendships renewed by an unexpected phone call, communities healed by those who knew how to take the first step toward reconciliation. Remember that unity is not only an ideal to achieve, but a reality to live moment by moment when you eat together as a family, when you pray together in church, when you work together for a common goal, when you comfort together those who suffer. You already experience that communion, which is a foretaste of paradise. But true unity begins in your heart. How can you be instruments of peace if war reigns within you? How can you unite others if you yourselves are internally divided? Often external divisions are only the reflection of internal divisions. For this reason, it is so important that you learn to make peace with yourselves, to accept your frailties, to forgive your errors, to integrate all parts of you in a harmony that only God's love can create. When you are at peace with yourselves, when you have reconciled your desires with God's will, then you naturally become instruments of unity for others. Inner peace radiates, authentic love spreads, unity with God generates unity with neighbor. Do not be discouraged if results are slow to come. True unity has God's timing, which is not man's timing. Sometimes it seems that your efforts are useless, that divisions are stronger than love, that selfishness triumphs over generosity. But it is not so. Every gesture of love, even the smallest, has infinite force because it participates in God's own love. I think of St. Francis who, kissing the leper, began a revolution of love, which continues still today. I think of Mother Teresa, who, picking up a dying person in the street, witnessed to the world that every life has infinite dignity. I think of all those saints, male and female, who with apparently small gestures have changed history because they chose unity instead of division. You too can be like them. You don't need spectacular gestures. You don't need eloquent speeches. You don't need extraordinary miracles. You only need a heart that knows how to love, a will that chooses good, a faith that believes in the transforming force of love. Every time you choose love, you collaborate with the Holy Spirit to recreate lost unity in this evening that approaches night. While you prepare your heart for rest, entrust to me all your labors for unity. Entrust to me the reconciliations that have not yet happened, the wounds that still bleed, the divisions that seem incurable. I can do all things, and what is impossible for men is possible for God. Entrust to me that difficult relationship with your husband or wife, those tensions that have been created over the years, and that seem impossible to overcome. Entrust to me that son who has distanced himself, that daughter who no longer speaks to you, those parents you cannot forgive. Entrust to me that colleague who has hurt you, that friend who has betrayed you, that neighbor who bothers you. Entrust to me also the greater divisions, those between nations, those between religions, those between cultures. Entrust to me the suffering of those who live in war-torn lands, of those who are persecuted for faith, of those who cannot find peace. Entrust to me the wounds of history, the grudges passed down from generation to generation, the hatreds that seem impossible to eradicate. But entrust to me also the small daily divisions, that sense of loneliness you feel even when surrounded by people, that difficulty in feeling part of a community, that struggle to find your place in the world. There is no wound too small for my love. There is no division too great for my mercy. When you pray for unity, do not pray only with words, but with your whole life. Make your existence a living prayer for universal reconciliation. Every gesture of love you make, every forgiveness you grant, every peace you bring, is a prayer more eloquent than 1,000 words. And when you pray with words, pray also with the body. Intertwine your hands as a symbol of the unity you desire. Open your arms as a sign of the embrace you want to offer to the world. Bend your knees in humility, recognizing that unity is first of all a gift from God. Pray for the unity of the church, that church which I loved unto giving my life for her. Pray that all the baptized may rediscover the awareness of being one body, animated by one spirit, called to one hope. Pray that the divisions between Catholics, Orthodox, and Protestants may be healed in the one love of Christ. Pray for the unity of families, which are the fundamental cells of society, and the domestic churches where one learns to love. Pray that spouses may rediscover every day the beauty of their yes, pronounced before the altar, that parents may know how to transmit to their children not only life, but also faith, that children may honor their parents even when they do not understand them. Pray for the unity of peoples, that wars may cease, that the walls of hatred and prejudice may be torn down, that every person may be recognized in their dignity, regardless of race, culture, religion. Pray that the powerful of the earth may govern for the common good and not for their own interest, that the rich may share with the poor, that those who have a voice may speak for those who do not have one. But above all, live already now that unity which you preach. Be already now credible witnesses of that peace which you announce. Do not wait for others to take the first step. Take it yourselves. Do not wait for the world to change. Begin yourselves to change. Do not wait for perfect unity to arrive. Build already now the bridges that will prepare it. The most holy Trinity, which is the perfect model of unity and love, watches over you in this night. The Father covers you with his tenderness. The Son accompanies you with his presence. The Holy Spirit consoles you with his peace. Mary, Mother of Unity, intercedes for you and obtains for you the graces necessary to be builders of communion. Think of Mary. When the angel announced to her that she would become the Mother of God, she could have felt different, separate, superior to others. Instead, she chose to remain humble servant, to continue living among her people, to share the joys and sorrows of every mother. Even when she was at the foot of the cross, in the moment of greatest pain, she did not close herself in her mourning, but welcomed John as son, becoming mother of all of us. Mary is the perfect model of unity. She unites in herself the divinity and humanity of her Son, unites heaven and earth, unites all peoples in her universal motherhood. She who said yes for all humanity continues to say yes for each one of you, continues to intercede so that all her children may find again lost unity. Entrust yourselves to her when the road of unity becomes difficult. She knows what it means to carry in the heart sorrows that seem unbearable. She knows what it means to see the Son rejected and persecuted. She knows what it means to remain faithful, even when everything seems lost. But she also knows what the joy of resurrection means, knows what it means to see love triumph over hatred, knows what it means to taste a foretaste of eternal unity. Fall asleep in peace, my children. Tomorrow will be a new day to love, to unite, to reconcile. Fall asleep in the certainty that love will have the last word, that unity will triumph over division, that peace will reign forever in the kingdom that comes. Dream of the unity that will come. Dream of the reconciled world. Dream of the reunited church. Dream of humanity singing in unison the praises of the Creator. They are not only dreams, they are prophecies, they are anticipations, they are promises that will be realized. And you, with your life, with your choices, with your love, are helping to realize them. I bless you with all the love of my heart. I bless you one by one, calling you by name, knowing your labors and your hopes. I bless you in your families, in your communities, in your workplaces. I bless you so that you may be blessing for others, so that wherever you go, you may carry my peace, my joy, my unity. Rest serene, my dear ones, because you are guarded in the eternal embrace of love, which never ends. Rest in the certainty that every new day is a gift to grow in unity, to love more, to be ever more conformed to the image of the Son of God, which you are called to become. The dawn that will come will bring new opportunity for unity, new occasions for reconciliation, new possibilities for love. Welcome them with open heart. Live as true children of unity. Witness to the world that God's love can truly change everything. I give you my peace, the kind the world cannot take away. Rest in my heart. Your Jesus,